Hi everyone, I'm so glad to be here with this video for you, and I'm so excited because I was digging around and I discovered, and maybe that was my ignorance, the pattern tools that I created actually works with Photoshop Elements, and I want to show you how exciting is this. And it works also great with my mixed media dynamic brushes that has some pattern brushes, but the incredible thing here on Photoshop Elements is that once you load that, you can use it basically with any brush. You will find here on this pattern tool, because it's where it stays the clone tool. So you have here the clone tool, and then you have the pattern tool. So I already have mine loaded, but I'm going to show you how you load. You go to this menu here, hamburger menu, and you go to load patterns. And then you're going to see where did you save your files, and you're just going to click here and say open. I'm not going to open because I already opened them. So, and then you load your mixed media brushes if you are not familiar here. So it gives you a chance to use brushes with the pattern tool, which is amazing because I did a brush for that. So the great thing about this is once you load the mixed media tool here, the mixed media brushes, dynamic brushes, you can use any brush with the pattern tool. So you just go again, hamburger, load brushes, and see where you loaded your file, and then load it here. I put on list so I can show you here. I have a pattern stamp brush here, which has a P. And if you buy my dynamic brushes, I have a guide that guides you how I name my files. So I want to show you here on a new page. I was playing already, but let's hide this. And I have here a blank layer. And let me make it a little smaller. And then this is the beauty you can do. Just play. I want to notice also that you have to check impressionist, okay? And it's great. You can change the pattern here, and then it's going to give you another color. The only thing is that in Photoshop, I have blender brushes in this set, and over here they're not going to work as blender brushes because the brush tool doesn't have blender brushes. So the beauty about the pattern tool is because you don't have to carry papers to do this, and because it's a tool already inside Photoshop, you can combine with brushes and do all these kind of things. What I mean is that you can create your own backgrounds. You can then clip this to like my stencils. You can clip to clipping masks and create kind of an overlay. And you can, mix and match them, and you can use them with overlays, and there is so many possibilities here. And the beauty about those is that you can reuse tools, these tools that you can embed in Photoshop to take the most of your layouts and to make artistic layouts, and most of all to give your touch to your layouts, not just what the designer wants for you. And if you're not familiar with the dynamic brushes, I just want to show real quick here. You go to the brush tool, and you have the brush tool here, and you load them here. Again, hamburger menu, load brushes, and you have them here. A note that I want to give with Photoshop Elements and dynamic brushes is that they're not going to work. If you saw my Photoshop video of this product, they're not gonna work 100%. And this is why. Because if you go to the brush settings here, you see that Photoshop Elements has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things that we can do in a brush. While Photoshop, I have probably combined more than 100 things that I can do to create a brush. So of course, not all things that I create in a brush are gonna be here on Photoshop Elements, but you can use them as regular mixed media brushes. So let's grab one here. Let's grab a color. Maybe this is not as dark to see in the video. And so they're gonna work, but they're not gonna work as you would see, um, they just work as a regular dynamic brush, some of them, right? Because, for example, in the brush settings here, I don't have everything that I put on my brushes when I do them in Photoshop. Okay. So you can see here that to use the pattern brush, I have to be on the pattern tool. If you take them to the just brush tool, they're gonna be just a regular brush, a regular dynamic brush. Also, the blender is not gonna blend because we don't have blenders here in Photoshop Elements. Oh, we have, let me see. Well, it's not really a blender, it's a blur tool and a smudge tool, so it doesn't work the same. But nonetheless, you can, dynamic brushes are fun. The reason why I like them is because they're not static. And, the reason they are fun is because you can create your own strokes and they're different. And you can use them to mask papers and give the papers a whole new look, to reuse the stash that you have. I don't think that, especially for me as a designer, I don't want you to use my papers just once and that's it. I want you to use my paper as tools for you. That's why I call my paper textures. I don't call them just papers because I don't consider them just papers that you just use one time. I wanted them to be used with all the tools that the programs use you to give you this versatility. I just want to show you here that I have also a pencil here, and let me put black. And the beauty about the pencil is that you can also, if you have a Wacom tablet, you can create your own marks and doodles in your layout, and especially for our journal, which we're going to create. So I hope you enjoy, and I'm so excited to actually realize that Photoshop Elements have some kind of way to use those because it gives you so much versatility. And also, I'm excited for you to use those on Photoshop Elements. Be aware that I'll be bringing more tutorials here for Photoshop Elements of full layouts from start to finish using this tool. So you can actually see these tools in action and some ideas for you to be creative in Photoshop Elements. I have to confess, Photoshop Elements, I'm not an expert on Photoshop Elements. I think we can create some fun things here. So I appreciate, and I'll put the links of the products in the video, and I can't wait for you to use those if you use Photoshop Elements. I'll see you next time.